What if everything you've been chasing, peace, freedom, purpose, has been blocked by just one illusion, you? Today, we uncover the truth that could shift your entire spiritual path. For many, the spiritual journey often feels like an endless race. We see others who appear serene or profound, and we immediately think, am I missing something? Perhaps we believe we need to look a certain way, or sit in a specific posture, or follow rigid rules. But tell us that comparison inevitably increases your desire to do more, leading to an unending pursuit. If you don't compare yourself, you'll simply do what's necessary. Think about it. If everyone in a village has a government job, then that becomes the sole purpose of life, and thinking beyond it becomes challenging. Similarly, a mind caught in a cycle of do's and don'ts is very difficult to liberate. Many monotheistic religions define spiritual experience as following these rules, making you either good or a sinner. But this isn't the core of true spiritual living. The actual essence of spirituality, according to these insights, is not about doing things, but about liberating yourself from the feeling of being the doer, or karta bhavana. This is the fundamental truth. When Ramana Maharshi was asked the cause of suffering, he simply stated, the feeling of being the doer. That's it. You see, if you feel, I am doing, that's the karta bhavana. Even if you practice for 100 years, if that feeling of I am the doer remains, you'll still feel compelled to do more. But if you understand, even for a single second, that I am not the doer, then that's the end of the story. It's about recognizing that you're a participant in what is happening, rather than the sole controller. For instance, when the speaker talks, they acknowledge that the energy comes from the food they ate, the air they breathed, and others who prepared the food, illustrating how the entire universe is involved in that act. Great wise individuals don't typically consult almanacs or rigid schedules for their actions. They act spontaneously. The idea of an auspicious time, like good time, isn't about the external atmosphere. It's about you. When your mind is as clear and stable as a serene nature, whatever you do in that moment is right time. Another powerful insight is that our sense of I, or self, often emerges because of the other. If you were alone in a forest, you wouldn't feel the need to identify yourself as a doer. But the moment someone else appears, the concept of I begins, along with the desire for recognition and a sense of mine. Our concept of self, of I, is not innate. It is first instilled in us through our perception of others, our parents, neighbors, their possessions. When you see others' things, you then start to desire your own. This means your doing is often a reaction to someone else, a form of borrowed motivation. True motivation, however, emerges from existence itself, when the feeling of doership ends. There are two primary ways to transcend this I, or doership concept. 1. All is mine. This is the understanding that everything is part of you, like your hand is part of your body. This perspective fosters connection with the world, leading to a desire to help others and participate in community efforts, like establishing ashrams or serving food. 2. Nothing is mine. This is the realization that you possess nothing. This understanding can lead to a more reclusive path, as there's nothing to grasp or possess. Both paths are valid, but ultimately, the core of spirituality lies in whether the karta bhavana, the feeling of being the doer, has vanished from within you. If it's gone, no specific practice is needed. If it remains, even 100 years of meditation are in vain. The text shares a powerful story of a man who was a terrible drunkard, someone everyone tried to change, but to no avail. He even enjoyed the chaos he caused. Then he got married. His wife, surprisingly, knew about his drinking and didn't try to change him. On their wedding night, she simply told him, "If you need to drink, Drink in solitude, but don't disturb others. You can drink in my presence. I will never stop you." She didn't judge him or try to reform him. The man was astounded. For the first time, no one was trying to change him. He never tried to stop drinking. It just happened on its own accord. She saw beyond the superficial habit and treated his core being. This is a profound example of how true change and the dissolution of doership, in this case, doership of the habit, can occur not through external effort, but through a deep internal shift fostered by unconditional acceptance. This is why profound statements resonate deeply, as they hint at this truth. As Osho once said, "What makes me speak is what listens in you." And Jiddu Krishnamurti famously put it, "The observer is the observed." These are not mere quotes. They are living realities that, when truly understood, dissolve the illusion of a separate doer. So, the next time you find yourself striving or feeling like you're missing something on your spiritual path, ask yourself, am I trapped in the feeling of being the doer? Am I comparing myself to others? Remember, true spiritual understanding is not about accumulating practices, but about recognizing that the entire universe is part of every act, and you're simply a participant. This realization, which can strike unexpectedly, is a revolutionary blast that clears all veils. Thank you for listening.